It's time for the Nebraska Football Coaches Show. Proudly brought to you by Channel.
Bork turns, gives it off to Ellison, hit in the backfield and drop. Huskers get a TFL. Barry Ellison for a 3-yard loss back to the 38. James Williams, a sack man, first on the scene, but he had help. Good job of the black shirts there. Tight formation, no wideouts, bounced outside, under center. They turn, give it off again to Barney around the left side of the 5. Touchdown, Nebraska! Ja'Cory Barney with a little end around for Nebraska, and the Huskers are on the board here in Bloomington. Back to throw is Rourke being rushed, gets hit, and goes down. The Huskers get him a sack. It's Mekhi Bear with a sack for the Big Red, his first of the year, and the Husker black shirts do rise to the occasion and shut off the Indiana drive.
Here's your host, Greg Sharpe, on the Huskers Radio Network.
And thank you. Welcome to our football show for the week. The Huskers getting ready to another challenging road game coming up on Saturday. Back-to-back road opponents that are both ranked. Last week was Indiana. This week, the number 4 Ohio State Buckeyes, who are coming off of that thrilling 1-point loss 2 weeks ago at Oregon. They did have a bye week last week, did the Bucks. So they've had 2 weeks to prepare for the Huskers. Nebraska kind of in a rut of that because this week's Ohio State. Next week our opponent is UCLA, and they are off this week. So they get a bye week to get ready for the Big Red. Running backs coach EJ Barell is going to join us here in just a couple of minutes. We'll talk about the Huskers running backs position, get his thoughts about the week as the team prepares for a big challenge. I don't think there's any question of the 12 teams on Nebraska's schedule that Ohio State is the most talented team, top to bottom. Might be the most talented football team in the country. Georgia would probably have a say in that, same with Texas, but Ohio State would not take a back seat to any of those teams about overall talent on your 1 through 85 or your 1 through 20 roster that they have. Just a really, really talented Ohio State team that comes in at 5-1 and that one loss, the 32-31 game to Oregon, which I think probably still the best game in the country that I've seen so far this year. I thought it was better than some of the other big SEC battles. I thought it was a great game. And those two could still match up again at the Big Ten championship game in Indianapolis here in about 6 weeks. Or they could even match up maybe in the 12-team playoff, which we're getting closer and closer to. This will pit two of college football's blue bloods, two of the teams that have won over 900 games. Only 8 schools have won over 900 football games in their history. Ohio State 969, Nebraska 922. So, these are two of the longtime powers. Obviously, Ohio State's had the better end of it against Nebraska. Since Nebraska joined the Big Ten, there have been some really good matchups. The last time these two teams played, the 2021 season, that early November game, Buckeyes won 26-17, and so they win by 9. That was like a one-possession game with 4 minutes to go. Huskers battle, but could not come over the top. And then you go back to Columbus in 2018. Scott Frost took the Huskers in there, lost 36-31. Really competitive football game in the Horseshoe in 2018. But Nebraska has only been able to beat the Buckeyes once since joining the Big Ten. That was a fun, kind of wet Saturday night. Levante David stripped the ball from Braxton Miller. Rex Burkhead had a huge second half in that matchup for Nebraska. So hoping maybe some magic like that comes again for the Big Red this week. 11 o'clock kick on Saturday. We'll be on the air bright and early. On the air before the sun's coming up now, 7 a.m. for Husker Game Day with Ben McLaughlin and Damon Benning. It's going to be an interesting couple of weeks coming up in Big Ten football, and really Ohio State's kind of in the midst of their schedule. They've got a huge game next week where they go to Penn State to take on the Nittany Lions. Penn State plays at Camp Randall this week, so you've got these really juicy matchups as we flip the calendar and get into the month of November. And then obviously Ohio State's got their traditional game at the end of the regular season against Michigan. So they've got some real stiff tests. And, oh, by the way, Ohio State still gets to play the Indiana Hoosiers, who we wouldn't have thought, right, 3 months ago would be right where they are in the landscape of college football. So some real challenges ahead for the Buckeyes as they look ahead. And this will be an interesting weekend as well, as you have a battle of ranked teams in the league out in Eugene as Illinois headed out to take on the Oregon Ducks in a matchup. Look at the schedule. Look at the standings right now. You have 3 Big Ten teams undefeated in conference play. Indiana, Oregon, both 4-0. Penn State, 3-0. Then you have Illinois, Wisconsin, 3-1. Ohio State, 2-1. And then Nebraska falls into the batch of teams with 2-2 records. And it's interesting when you look at these standings is kind of who's at the bottom. Here's the bottom three. And again, we still have 5-6 games to go for everybody to play. But in 16th place right now, USC at 1-4. Now, they're maybe 5-6 plays away from winning a bunch of their games. They just cannot close out games. Kind of something Nebraska fans have been familiar with over the last decade. But they're 1-4, UCLA 1-4, and Purdue is 0-4. But those are your bottom three. The two Los Angeles schools, who Nebraska is yet to play, but will play, with the Bruins here on the 2nd, and then Nebraska traveling to Southern California to take on the Trojans on the 16th. But pretty odd to look up there and see USC and UCLA at the bottom of the Big Ten standings moving into the last Saturday in the month of October. Again, EJ Barell, they're wrapping up a meeting over in the football complex. He'll be making his way over here in just a couple of minutes. We're going to talk about running back, so we thought we would lead off the hour with our Alumni Hall Husker Athlete Alumni of the Week. And because EJ is here tonight, I might go pull an old fullback play from Andy Janovich.
Under center's Armstrong. It's an I formation cross to deep back. Tommy, long count, hands it off to the fullback, Janovich. He fights forward for the first down at 50, breaks a tackle, 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Nebraska!
Oh, Andy Janovich, a terrific player, kind of a fan favorite right up there in the Gretna area, and walk on to the program, hard-nosed, tough, ended up playing several years in the National Football League at the fullback position, but a lot of Husker fans think fondly about Andy Janovich, so he's our Alumni Hall Alumni of the Week. Alumni Hall is your ultimate Husker shopping experience with the largest and best selection of apparel, vault gear, and tailgate accessories. Shop their 2 Lincoln locations or alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where the Huskers shop. All right, if you got a text, you want to fire off a text, get in the queue for that for Coach, 402-413-2400. EJ Barell, again, Huskers running backs coach, will join us for the remainder of the hour. We'll slip our first break in. Back with Coach Barell next.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump.
And save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
In the game of life, we all face tough moments. Sometimes it feels like we're up against a formidable block with no way through. Call, text, or chat 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Don't wait for the final set. Reach out, speak up, and let's bump, set, and spike this challenge together. Because in Nebraska, we're more than players. We're a supportive community. Remember, in times of need, call a timeout. Call, text, or chat 988. It's okay to ask for help. We're here for you. Every serve, every pass. Go Big Red. Presented by Nebraska DHHS.
Just like D1 athletes, farmers view each growing season as a new opportunity. Aurora Cooperative is committed to elevating the success of our members every season. Rooted in our core mission, we provide top-notch products, services, and expertise. Our strong work ethic mirrors that of the Huskers, driving success. Choose Aurora Cooperative, your partner in elevating agriculture. Go Big Red!
Working together, Central Valley Ag unites with our farmers to feed a hungry planet. Add dollars to every acre by incorporating value-added grain into your operation with Central Valley Ag. From food corn and beans to non-GMOs and organics. For a limited time, enter to win a $10,000 bonus when you contract 25,000 bushels or more of value-added grain. Enter at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Strong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house online and owning it. Between imagining living there and breathing in your new home for the first time. Having an advocate who can help you navigate the complex world of financing, inspections, negotiating, analyzing the market, and talking through any anxieties that may pop up, that can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors and bound by a code of ethics, because that's who we are.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
Out here, we raise stronger people, stronger crops, and we proudly raise our flag to that. Let the weather, pests, and pressures try to beat us down. We only keep growing up. With the next-gen genetics, the pure acre-for-acre know-how of these soils, and a deep pride of our roots, we are born to raise at Hogemeyer. Learn more at therightseed.com.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Get a 2024 Ford Super Duty for 1.9% with Ford credit financing, or get $2,000 bonus cash only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Explore the lineup of dependable vehicles today at Woodhouse Toyota. Our team is dedicated to providing a satisfying, reliable, and enjoyable car buying experience beyond your expectations. Lease the 2024 Toyota Prius Limited for $500 a month for 26 months and 10,000 miles per year. Visit us in store off Highway 281 in Grand Island or online at woodhousetoyota.com. Woodhouse Toyota. Let's go places. With approved credit, $5,865 down payment plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Security deposit waived. Tax, title, license fee extra. Offer expires 11/4/2024.
Welcome back to our Husker Football Radio Hour, brought to you by Channel. As a farmer, challenges arise daily with the new enhanced Channel seed brand. You can tackle them all. Rise to the challenge with Channel. Learn more at channel.com/rise. Greg Sharpe back with you. It's our Husker Football Radio Hour for the week. Delighted to be joined by running backs coach EJ Barell. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. You know, great 2 days of practice.
Good.
Bouncing back here from the weekend, and guys have responded, so it's been a really positive past 2 days for us. I know that Monday was kind of a long film session, and brought the whole group together. That's a little different wrinkle, wasn't it, for Monday? Yeah, that's right. I think we've that's kind of who we are as an organization. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's we're going to watch the tape, and we're going to tell the truth, and we're going to have hard conversations, and we're going to figure out what things are going wrong and what things are going right. You know what I mean? So not out of the norm for us. You know what I mean? And it's kind of our culture. We got to address the problems at hand and fix them. I want to ask about some of the guys in your room. You and I have not talked a lot about Dante. Tell me about Dante. What's his personality like? What's he been like to coach? He's very similar to Emmett in the sense that he's very coachable. He's a guy that really cares about football. It really matters to him. You know what I mean? So the one thing that jumps off is he doesn't he's consistently watching film. He's trying to add elements to his game. I think when he first got here, he was learning a lot of football, and that was kind of the hesitation with where he was at on the depth chart and things like that in the spring. And then so I think throughout the spring he learned how to consistently get in rhythm. You know what I mean? And so now through camp and through the season, he's just getting better and better and better. So he's a real coachable kid that loves football. So he's very similar to I'd say Emmett Johnson. How long did you have to watch his tape when he got in the portal to go, I think we want him? Yeah. Not long? Not long. I just see the size and the power the kid has, and the way he runs the football with burst and acceleration. He's a very physical runner. You know what I mean? And so very physical. When he gets all elements of his game together, he's going to be a very, very good player. I know he was distraught when the ball got on the turf the other day. How do you handle that situation? Is it different depending on the personality of the back you're dealing with when they make a mistake like that? Some guys you maybe want to put your arm around. Some guys you want to whack a little bit. That's right. How'd you deal with Dante? We spent so much time in this all season, this season, daily on ball security technique, right? So, and it's been good. And the reality is, sometimes it's unfortunate. Sometimes the ball will hit the turf, right? The helmet gets on the ball, the hand didn't get on there, the second hand didn't get on there fast enough, et cetera, et cetera. There's things that may be out of your control. The one thing is, it's a guy, if a guy is consistently trying to make sure he's improving his ball security and he's working at it, that's one thing. If a guy's not really working on the technique, that's a whole other conversation. Yeah. But Dante is a kid that's continuously working to get better. And you got to be careful with a guy like that. He cares a lot. So you got to, really, he's a young player. You got to make sure, hey, man, what's next? What's next? It is what it is. Ball went on the ground. We got to get better. We cannot, we got to move on from this. You know what I mean? And so just trying to keep him motivated, keep his spirits up, and he's been great all week. You guys have been so much better in that category this year. Anthony had a problem last year. That was an issue for Anthony, and you guys dealt with him all season long with that. But it's been way better. It obviously was Saturday popped up there, but it's been massively better. That has to be something you guys, I know you talked about it all summer long. We have to get better in the turnovers. Yeah, and we need to continue to get better at it. True. That's the reality. So we're just going to continue to get better at it, and it's going to be, it's going to be an uphill battle, and continue to work at it. And it's never going to be perfect, right? So we're always going to be chasing perfection in ball security because, again, you're fighting the natural way of things in the game. You know what I mean? So it's not natural to carry the football a certain way when you're running the ball. So it's a technique, and most techniques they fail in moments of fatigue, lack of focus. It's not necessarily a thing where he can't hold the ball. It's a matter of having the proper techniques and having it in rhythm and being consistent. Folks, contact 811 2 days before you dig to protect your underground utilities and yourself. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. You've got the luxury of some depth in that room where you can shuffle different people in there kind of on what you maybe want to do on a particular drive. I want to talk about Emmett's progress. What have you seen from Emmett as this season has kind of unfolded? Same as really the player the same player we thought he would be when we saw him last year is who he is. I mean, the kid he's explosive in space. And he's got the ability to make people miss, and we have to put him in position to have success. And that's the plan, and that's what we're doing. And he's a guy that can go in at any time in the game and try to create an explosive run for us. And who would you say in that group is there somebody more vocal than somebody else of that batch of guys you're dealing with? The oldest guy in the room is Ramir. Obviously. So he has the most respect out of all the other running backs, and just because of his experience and who he is as a person. He's a great kid, and he's a team player. He came back for his sixth year to be back at Nebraska. Didn't have the easiest career here, obviously, but cares about that room, cares about his teammates, cares about the offense and the rest of the guys. And he has a lot of respect in that room. So if there's ever a time I need to bring the guys together, Ramir is usually the guy that leads that in that sense. Seems like he and EJ are kind of attached to the hip, aren't they? I'm laughing because that's exactly right. The one's not too far from it. They're always right. Together. I look up on there's the other one. Okay. Yeah, it's too good. And honestly, that was my biggest challenge. Whenever you're the running back, the quarterback, similar situations, and anytime you have a quarterback or a running back room, right? There's really only one person that's going to have the ball, right? So keeping a room close is really. I guess the master in that, right. the magic in that, and so, it's really great to have that, that they are close that way and that they are competing with each other, but yet they're still friends. And that's important.
So only one football. And you got multiple guys, and they all have different skill sets. I'm sure you'd love to get Gabe the ball more than he's been able to get.
100%. I think Gabe has really kind of shown progress, with the injury and all those things from last year and really getting his burst back the first 4 weeks of the season. And he's shown his burst. He's shown it. He's got, in the last 2 weeks of practice, he's really shown some giddy up and getting back to his old self. So, when his name is called, he'll be ready.
You know far better than I, but I would not think Gabe would be a guy you would need to get on about effort and putting out, coming to work, doing the work every day. It seems like he's always there ready to try to make himself better.
The best thing I could say about Gabe, about his character, is that, he's kind of been like the fourth guy right now, and he's handled it with class. You know what I mean? He's not been a distraction. He's practiced, like you said, with the elite effort, and he cares, and he's been vocal and cheering guys on. It's not like he's sitting back there like, hey, pouting and stuff like that. He's even been a team player, and that's great to have that from him right now.
I mentioned to you when you first walked in, it was good to see Quentin get the ball a couple times, and he showed a little giddy up to the step.
That's right. He's been really valuable to us on scout team this year, to our defense. He's been giving great looks. Again, it's a crowded room, so he's making progress on special teams. He's making progress, and obviously get involved in the game now. You know what I mean? So he's, challenged him in the beginning of the year. You got to find a niche, find a role on this team. Being where you're at in the depth chart, you got to find a role, and he's doing that. He's making himself valuable, whether it be on scout team or in the actual games on special teams, and being a reserve running back. And obviously, a nice little return against Indiana, and you can see the burst and acceleration and ability to make guys miss. So he's going to be a great player for us.
Still really young, redshirt freshman.
That's right.
Still really young.
That's right.
Okay, road games, you're limited on how many people you can take. What's the number Coach gives you for your backs? Is it 5 that go, 6? What does it vary week to week? How many are you allowed to take on the trip?
Usually, in pretty much every organization, depending on if a guy has multiple roles, you're really going to probably carry 5 running backs. Usually 4 to 5 running backs on a road trip. That's usually the norm, kind of generically across football.
They've gone up. The Big Ten's gone to 74. I think when we joined the league, it was 70. I don't know when you played, it might have even been less than that. But 74 is a pretty good number.
That's right.
You'd love to take everybody.
That's right.
But you can't. So that's not a bad number, though, to have.
No, it's good. I think you're really going to play with, no matter where you're at, you're usually going to play with 2 running backs, right? Depending on situations, you may be able to play with 3. So that's, 4 to 5 is great. 4 is good and 5 is great, for sure.
What offensive system did you grow up in? I mean, if I said, okay, I'm going to make you a running back, would you want to play in the I? Would you want to play in the what system did you play growing up?
Well, so I played fullback. I was a fullback and played
a dying breed.
That's right. So played some at Rutgers and UMass and NFL style offense, I formation. Power outside zone, inside zone. It's kind of been my DNA. Along with Coach Rule, same deal. That's who we are as people, man. Power, physical run, and that's the outside zone, inside zone, counter, gap scheme. That's kind of the NFL style. Is who we are, really. So
Barrett Liebentrip has lit some guys up the last couple weeks. That is really fun to see him fill a gap and do that. I know he spends some time with the tight ends guys as well, but it is fun to see him execute a block from the fullback position.
It's great, man. It's great watching him, the way he came in and has developed. He was a great addition to our program. Just recruiting him last year. He transferred into it. When he transferred in here, just trying to find a role, right? And trying to, because he was playing tight end at his previous school. And then, the fullback he played in high school. So it was really kind of a developmental phase he had to go through, and then was effective when he got in the game last year, and then has made some big plays for us. I think some key blocks, and just really happy for him.
It is fun. Love seeing guys blow up that backer coming through the hole. Everybody wants us to get more consistent in the run game. The one thing that we've done pretty well is some of the perimeter rushes with Ja'Cory and getting the guys to the edge a little bit. That's been pretty effective for the team through the first 7 games.
That's right. And honestly, there's been a lot of positivity in the run game. It may not be showing up on the stats and all that stuff and all that. But if you look at the beginning of the season into some flashes of some runs last week, and then you look at the second half of Purdue and things we're about to move. They're there. We just got to find a way to be more consistent. we have to get it done. That's the reality. And our guys know that. The running backs know that. It's a challenge, and we're going to get it done.
Coach made the comment Monday. He said there was one play that he goes, if we block one more thing, Emmett goes, and it's a touchdown. And if Dante maybe looks left on one cut, he might score. So it's that much. But that's the difference right now in a lot of football games.
We're literally that close. We're that close, and you saw a lot. I mean, again, it's not a matter of can we run the football. We've all seen that we can run the ball. Everyone's seen. I've seen it. Yeah, we've all seen the big game. We've made national attention about the way we're running the football this year, right? So we can do it, right? This isn't a matter of like, oh man, we got to get it done. That's what we're working on as a staff, and we're working as a program, and we're going to run the ball. That's what we're going to do.
Well, and Saturday got to the point where unfortunately we fell behind. You kind of have to throw the game plan out to try to get yourself back in the game. You got to change what you do because the game dictates that.
That's right.
So get a lead in games, and you can dictate. And we've done that for most of the season. We've had the lead. We've had control of games where we can kind of dictate terms. That's what you want.
I think success, right? I look at, we've been here for now 2 years now. I think, success, everyone kind of, the natural human way to look at it is, it's got to go this way. Right?
Doesn't happen that way.
And it's more so like, you know what I mean? And it's just, we have to continue to keep climbing. And, part of being tough is also learning how to take a punch.
No question.
Everyone thinks it's about punching, but when you can take a punch, settle back, refocus, right, and build upon that, that's another element of the toughness, right? So this happens, we took an L last weekend. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And so to sit here and act like, it's the end of the world for us, no. It's a learning experience. We needed it, right? Let's grow from it. Let's not let it happen again. So.
Dorothy Lynch, Homestyle Light and Lean Dressing, Endless Flavorability. Is EJ Barell with us. If you want to fire off a text, 402-413-2400. To me, it seems like, and a lot of stuff trickles down, Coach, from the NFL, where, you have a Derrick Henry, but so much of NFL running back rooms now are kind of by committee. We've kind of changed and it saddens me because I love running backs all throughout my life, but it's almost like they've kind of taken a step back and they're now kind of a group thing and not a major star. Are you seeing it that way too, where you don't have maybe the bell cow as much anymore?
I think the RPO game has implemented the pass into everyone's scheme.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so a lot of teams in football are traditionally, over the last 10 years, have leaned more on pass. Not that they don't lean on the run game. So the position itself has changed, right? You still need the physical downhill Dante Dowdell. Right?
Yeah.
But you also need a guy that can make people miss in space in the pass game, can run the option routes, a guy like Emmett Johnson, a guy like Ramir Johnson. So you need, in most schemes in football, you need both. You need guys that can run gap scheme, physical downhill runs, but also have the flexibility to do things in the pass game. And we have that. So we have a really good, solid room, and we got to continue just to keep plugging away at it.
Thank you. That answers a lot. The RPO addition to football has really kind of changed the way a lot of people, coordinators, everybody sets up their offense moving forward. All right, 7 games in already. Quick how this gone. We're 5-2, still have back 5 games. A lot of great opportunities ahead for this team. It's so cool to see, these marquee matchups, and we're getting all the TV commercial times, watch the Huskers. That is invaluable, right? So you can tell prospective student athletes, catch us Saturday, we're going to be on. It's a great opportunity to be in Nebraska right now.
That's right. It has been. The season has gone fairly quickly. It's actually funny. We talked about that as a staff. We talked about that to our team. The one thing I would say is, like, just because you brought that up, don't want to get off topic, but for example, we talk to our players, I talk to our room, we're 7 games in. If we started camp today, right, we're 5-2.
Right.
We're 5-2 guys.
Yeah.
We're 7 games. We started camp today. Think about all the things you did wrong or you regret in the last 7 games. With all the knowledge and all the effort that you've gotten to this point, where we're at right now, and you finish the rest of the season out and play the way you need to play with correcting the mistakes that you made those last 7 games, think about how good we can be, right? So it's a matter of bringing the season, the second part of the season, to life, and with the things that we've been coaching them to do, and we're doing that. So
Denny in Omaha says, Coach, how do you go through your rotations with backs? Guy might be out there for 2 or 3 straight snaps. When do you decide to sub in and out? Is there a method to? I'm sure there's a method to the madness, but
right.
how do you go through that?
Well, the one thing is, from a running back coach, is probably similar to most running back coaches across the country. You spend so much time with your guys. You can tell their movements, their mannerisms. You know when they're gassed, when they're, depending on what the play needs, the play call needs, what type of guy, skill set you need, right? So there's multiple factors, but you'd love to get a guy in a rhythm, 3, 4, 5 carries in a row. You know what I mean? So he can kind of get going. So to catch the speed of the game, the timing, all those things. But really, it's depending on the situation we're in, right? Whether we're in 2-minute or 4-minute, whether we're in first or second down, if we're in third down situations. You know what I mean? So, the efficiency on first and second down is key to getting in rhythm. That's the key. To keeping it back in the game in rotation.
Right. How about the communication this year in college football with the helmet microphone for Dylan? How has that gone? You guys are 7 games into this thing now. Are you guys happy with the way all of that works? And then also kind of part 2 to that, EJ, is they're now allowing you some more on-field help at practice. How's beneficial has that been to get some extra eyes and assistant coaches out there helping you on practice?
Last year, so the iPads have been amazing.
Really?
Just because you can make corrections immediately. Like for the NFL style, which we had it, I was in the NFL, but now we have it in college football. So it's been phenomenal to be able to kind of just, hey, look at here.
And you can move it, right? Where the NFL, it's a picture maybe, or?
Yeah, it's video. You play the video, and you can show the where the read's supposed to go, or show the front scheme or where the pressure's coming from. It's been amazing. And the timing of it has been I still don't really understand exactly how fast they get that thing done, but it's pretty impressive. And then also I think the helmet communication is awesome. That's been phenomenal, and I think it's the same way in the NFL, and it makes a lot of sense. That's how it's going to be. They're going to play at the next level. So we're here to develop players to get in the NFL and also get a degree. So I think it makes a lot of sense. It's been great.
How about the on-field help at practice?
Oh man, it's
big difference, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. Like sometimes you take it for granted, but then you realize a guy holding the scout team card and coaching up a player that you're not really focused on right now, he's getting coached, he's getting developed. That's key. You may have 6 or 7 guys, one coach focusing on 3 guys, 4 guys. Now you got 2 guys. You can touch so many more players and develop so many more players. It's phenomenal. It really is.
Thank goodness the NCAA came to their senses. They're getting some things right.
That's right.
I mean,
that's right.
Those were kind of natural things that coaches have been screaming about for years. We've got these guys on our staff that are analysts, but they can't go out and really help us on a field. Why not? It never made sense why they couldn't go do that.
That's right. Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great for coaches to develop too, right?
Oh, no question.
So you have a chance to get experience. You know what I mean? If you're a younger coach, you're an analyst. So I think there's a lot of positivity. Or maybe you're an older coach and you have a lot of wisdom you want to teach. I mean, it's just a lot of it.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. EJ Barell. Well, let's keep those texts coming. Denny in Omaha, thanks for that text. 402-413-2400. Folks, receive 1 year 0% financing on seed and crop protection when you enroll in Central Valley Ag's Go Early Seed program. Visit cvacoop.com to learn more. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation. More with Coach Barell coming up.
Just like D1 athletes, farmers view each growing season as a new opportunity. Aurora Cooperative is committed to elevating the success of our members every season. Rooted in our core mission, we provide top-notch products, services, and expertise. Our strong work ethic mirrors that of the Huskers, driving success. Choose Aurora Cooperative, your partner in elevating agriculture. Go Big Red!
Hi, I'm Tom Osborne, former football coach and co-founder of the Teammates Mentoring Program.
And I'm Des Moines Adams, Husker Black Shirt and CEO of Teammates Mentoring.
We are recruiting Teammates mentors and need caring adults to be in the lives of our students.
Meeting with a student once a week at the school can make a positive impact in their life and have a ripple effect in our communities.
Please join our team.
Go to teammates.org today.
Pioneer brand Z Series soybeans have farmers yielding out an additional 2.7 bushels per acre over A Series. This has everyone talking, not just farmers. Case in point, a trucking company wrote, "Morning, noon, and night, it doesn't matter. I'm hauling Z Series. The phone doesn't stop ringing. Even my home number, it never stops ringing." Well, it's fair to say Pioneer brand Z Series soybeans are making quite an impact. Unleash your greatest harvest yet at pioneer.com/greatest yields.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get a 2024 Ford Super Duty for 1.9% with Ford credit financing, or get $2,000 bonus cash only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
It's time to review the top 3 highlights of the day. I'm joined as always by my co-anchor Snoop.
Hey, what up, though?
Snoop, number 1 has to be getting the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence at T-Mobile.
Yeah, you should hustle down to T-Mobile like a dog chasing a squirrel chasing a nut.
Nice analogy, Snoop. Dogs do love to chase squirrels.
And squirrels love to chase those nuts.
On to highlight number 2, at T-Mobile, families can save 20% every month versus the other big guys.
That is very impressive. You know, y'all can take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing with my savings, Snoop. Now, take it away, Snoop.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on them. Now drop that jingle.
With 24 monthly bill credits, eligible trade-in on Go 5G Next. Well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits, and credit stop and balance on required finance agreement too. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For almost 50 years, Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont has been more than just a dealership. We're a family dedicated to serving yours. Shop Nebraska's #1 volume Buick GMC dealer for the new car, truck, or SUV to fit your needs. We're also your GMC Business Elite dealer for commercial vehicles. Visit us at SidDillonBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Drives us, Sid Dillon.
Looking for the ultimate sports watching experience? Head to Smash Park in La Vista, home of Husker Hangouts, Omaha's official watch parties. Your go-to spot for epic game day deals, delicious bites, and unbeatable fun. Catch every moment on massive screens. Challenge friends to pickleball, axe throwing, and other games. Smash Park is where the action happens, whether you're cheering on the Huskers or just enjoying the atmosphere. Smash Park. Visit us today and turn your game day into a game night. Smash Park. Play, drink, eat.
The polar bear. Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hutmaker knows who to call when your house is cold enough for hibernation.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hutmaker here. People know me as the polar bear. Don't be like me in the winter and call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty, best warranty in town.
SOS to the rescue.
402-391-2336.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Welcome back to our Husker Football Radio Show, brought to you by Channel. As the Farmer Challenges arrives daily with a new enhanced Channel Seed brand. You can tackle them all. Rise to the challenge with Channel. Learn more at channel.com/rise. Talking to Huskers running back Coach EJ Barell here on our Husker Football Radio Hour. Mark in Omaha wants to know, Coach, how can you work on a back and their vision? How do you teach that?
Yeah, that's a progression, right? I think it starts with the type of run, then it starts with, the front scheme, then the blocking scheme, right? And then it's the repetition. So really, like, you go the old Nick Saban model is, you want to show the picture, right? Explain the run, show the video, walk through it, and then rep it, and then watch it, do it again. You know what I mean? So I think the vision part is understanding, the defense, where the pressures, where the pursuit's coming from, and then putting your eyes in the right spot. So I think it's a matter of repetition and film watching. So, but as you saw and seen here, we have guys that can, find tight holes, tight reads. That's important. You know what I mean? And it's an eye progression, eye development that has to be developed daily. We work on it daily. You know what I mean? And where do your eyes go? As soon as the running back comes back, that's the first thing I ask them. What'd you see? Where were your eyes? And if they're wrong, we got to get it right the next spot. But then, so it's a daily, consistent teaching progression for sure.
Very good. Mark, good question. Another question for you, Coach. Do we have many packages with two backs in the backfield?
Coach, I would love that's obviously a running back coach's dream.
Oh yeah.
Right? So we've talked about it. We're sure it's we have things like that in the playbook, and I'm sure when coach is ready to get those things rolling, we'll have them ready to go. So we've done it before, and we have that in the arsenal, and we'll get that when coach is ready to get that.
I figured you'd be on board with that.
Oh yeah.
Well, okay. Let's flip the page this week. This is a big challenge. This is a really good football team. What stands out when you watch Ohio State's defense?
I think whatever everyone else sees. They're a good team. They got good players, and they play hard. And they've had a tradition of success there. What better opportunity for our guys to go out there and play against these guys and go compete against one of the best teams in the country. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, we want our guys to play at the highest level. We want our guys to rise to the standard. We want our guys to go and compete. We talk about it every single day. We live it, we breathe it. That's why we do what we do. It's our DNA, is to push these guys to the highest level. Ohio State has obviously had a head start on us. But what better opportunity for our guys to not only go out and compete, but compete against the best. That's what we do this for, right? So, you don't walk in here and say we want to go play the worst team this week. That's not the competitor. That's not what we do. So, we're excited. We're excited. We just got punched in the mouth. Okay, now let's go out for the challenge. Let's see how our guys respond. Let's go compete. And it's awesome. I think it's great.
How many different looks do they give you? Do they blitz a lot? Is that kind of their MO? Jim Knowles is their longtime DC, not long time there, but he's been a DC all over college football. What kind of personality does he have at defense?
Yeah, well, so they're a fundamentally sound team. They're a 4-down structure, and they're going to play a mix of zone and man, and I think he's made some changes over the years, but nothing too drastic. You know what I mean? And so I think they're going to rely on their ability with their athletes, and they're going to try to throw pressure at us like every other team does. Try to pressure at us to try to stop the run, and we got to just make sure we're dialed up with the right play calls, and go win the one-on-one matchups, create double teams, get guys in space, and make someone miss, and go execute.
How fun is for you as a coach? Is it to coach in this league, which has the reputation of being a great defensive league, to go match wits? Isn't that kind of the challenge of your business, to go, okay, we're going against some really good guys who know what they're doing defensively, to go try to match it? That's got to be a fun challenge for you as a coach to come to work every day.
That's right. The biggest thing we talk about in recruiting is you playing in the Big Ten is developing for the NFL, right? So, you're going to get a lot of offensive, defensive linemen, running backs, quarterbacks drafted from this conference because it's kind of the same style of play in the NFL. So That's the beauty of this conference, playing tough, physical games. Sometimes they'll go, like the one we had last week, 2 weeks ago against Rutgers. It's a
battle.
It's a battle. It's a battle, and it's just a beautiful thing to be in this conference and play this style of football consistently, week in, week out. I think it's great. It's just for a kid like me, running back, grew up in this type of world. It's just a perfect match.
Well, you just look at the national stats, and the Big Ten teams are always up there in defense, and people in the SEC will go, well, because we got all the great offenses. Well, maybe, but this league just gets after you, and it's physical, and you feel it on Monday, and then you feel it the next Monday, and it's a war of attrition.
That's right. Every Saturday is going to be a challenge, no matter what the team's records are, no matter who's who, what's what. It's a matter of lining up and stopping the run, playing sound defense, taking advantage of explosive runs, explosive in the pass game, and protecting the football. That's what the NFL is. That's what the Big Ten is, and that's who we are. So it's going to be. We're fortunate.
So far, the weather's been pretty good this fall.
I mean,
last week we had a couple of dicey days, but we've been pretty good this fall.
I've been using that in recruiting too on the FaceTime. Hey man, don't listen to the rumors.
Beautiful day.
That's right.
Good stuff. Right. EJ Barell with us for a few more minutes. Folks, once you plant Pioneer brand Z-Series soybeans in your field, harvests, they're never going to be the same. Enter a new era of performance at pioneer.com/unleash greatness. Back with some final thoughts from the coach next.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store. Because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Just like D1 athletes, farmers view each growing season as a new opportunity. Aurora Cooperative is committed to elevating the success of our members every season. Rooted in our core mission, we provide top-notch products, services, and expertise. Our strong work ethic mirrors that of the Huskers, driving success. Choose Aurora Cooperative, your partner in elevating agriculture. Go Big Red!
As the world's largest family-owned and operated manufacturer of grain storage, drying, and handling equipment, Sukup Manufacturing Company has led the way in innovation, offering top-notch products that empower farmers to thrive. Get ready to tackle your agricultural challenges with Sukup, where innovation meets reliability. Visit sukup.com to find your dealer today.
Sunday morning. You can smell it. Game day. And the brisket you've been smoking since last night. A day to be with family, aka fellow football fans. Traditions make Sundays easy to enjoy. Beers do too. Bud Light. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker Football Spring Game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store. Because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
We're back. Final few minutes of our Husker football show for the week, brought to you by Channel. As the farmer challenges arise daily with the new enhanced Channel seed brand, you can tackle them all Rise to the challenge with Channel. Learn more at channel.com/rise. EJ Barell with us for a couple of more minutes. Huskers getting ready to travel again to go take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. 11 o'clock kick. We also learned that next week's game with UCLA will be a 2:30 game back at Memorial Stadium. It'll be good to be. We've had one home game the whole month. We had all those early, and now we've kind of been traveling our bye weeks. And
That's right.
What'd you do during the bye week? Did you stay anchored here in Lincoln? Did you get out and about? What'd you do?
I got a chance to go down to recruit a little bit down to St. Louis. That was awesome for her to get a chance to go watch some games. That was great. Watch some players, and so it was great. Yeah.
Recruiting never stops.
That's right.
Always, the day you take off for recruiting, you're probably falling behind somebody.
No question. That's the backbone of what we do. You know what I mean? So recruiting is the bloodline of the program. So.
One of the things that this program has been known for, and you've certainly been able to see it, is the walk-on program, which with some of these new NCAA rules and maybe limiting roster sizes, that may affect that moving forward. But how valuable have you seen that in the first couple of years you've been here, having walk-ons that are a part of the football program?
I think it's really important for multiple reasons. I think for development, I think for competition. I think for even developing a scout team. That's really important. You know what I mean? So some guys, I remember one of my coaches when I was in high school, when I was in college, said to me one time, you have an attitude about being on a scout team. My scout team running back when I was my previous school, he ended up being a first-round draft pick. You know what I mean? So the development part, especially when you get a young guy, freshman running back, and he has to go against the first-team defense. You know what I mean? And get better and better and better each day. And so the more players you can add on your roster of quality, it's just a better program, better for opportunities for more people. And football and NFL is only one part of the opportunities that the sport brings to people. So brings the young, I say people because young women and men, there are opportunities through the sport. So the more people that we can add to our roster, the more lives you're going to change to the sport, whether it be in coaching, production, video, broadcasting. It brings a lot of opportunity to young men and women. So I hope we keep it. I hope we get to keep our roster numbers up. But it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and all that's being discussed way over our heads right now by people that think they know the best for the sport. Special teams for guys in your room, we've seen impact. We talked about Quentin had a good kickoff return last week against Indiana. Ramirez brought back kicks. Emmett can be effective in the kick game. A sense of pride for those guys, right, to want to be a part of those teams, and I'm sure you encourage those guys to get out there and compete for spots on those jobs as well.
That's right. Gabe and Quentin, they've been adding on to the special teams units, and so it's been really good for all those guys to have that ability to go affect special teams, especially for guys with pro aspirations. I know Ramir wants to play in the NFL one day, and the reality is he's going to have to be involved with special teams. He's going to have to make the team on special teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So especially for a guy like Emmett too, he's got the ability to be a punt returner, a kick returner. So that's huge for their development. And even Quentin, for him to get out there and kind of be in the fourth, fifth guy on the roster, finding impact on special teams, getting on the bus, that's important. For Gabe, not getting the touches he wants right now, not being a mopey, going out there on punt team and helping. You know what I mean? Those are the things that you appreciate in our guys, and that's key. So it's great.
Good stuff. All right, good luck this week. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Awesome.
EJ Barell with us here on our Football Radio Hour. Huskers and Buckeyes, 11 o'clock Saturday and 7 o'clock for pregame coverage. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. We have another hour of Sports Nightly coming up next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Is your phone system holding you back? We know how important smooth, reliable communication is for your success. Whether your team is working from the office or on the go, you need a phone system that keeps up with your busy day. At Hamilton, we offer business phone systems that adapt to your needs, making every call clear and every connection simple. Upgrade to a Hamilton business phone system where advanced features meet unmatched reliability. Are you ready to transform how you communicate? Better phones, better business. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Last season was a banner year for the Huskers, winning 5 Big Ten titles. Nebraska also finished in the top 25 in the Directors' Cup standings. Beardmore Subaru congratulates Husker Athletics and Nebraska student athletes for all their achievements and stands behind you again this season. Go Big Red! Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester, the same trusted SUV it's always been, only more so. Love begins with trust.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Good evening, I'm Duke Root, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. The Nebraska softball team had a Scarlet versus Cream inter-squad scrimmage today as the Cream squad won 10-4, led by Jordy Ball. Ball went 4 for 4 with a triple, a double, 2 RBIs, and a walk. The Kansas City Chiefs are finalizing a trade for former All-Pro wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins today from the Tennessee Titans in exchange for a 5th-round pick that could turn into a 4th-rounder. Hopkins adds another weapon for Mahomes after Rashee Rice suffered a season-ending injury a few weeks ago. Former Dodgers star pitcher Fernando Valenzuela passed away at the age of 63 last night. El Toro was the 1981 Cy Young winner and was a 6-time All-Star for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Rest in peace, Fernando. The NBA tips off tonight, and 3 former Huskers are on opening night rosters. Delano Banton and Bryce McGowan's on the Portland Trailblazers, and Jack McVay with the Houston Rockets. There are 10 games in the NBA tonight, including Nets at the Hawks, 76ers hosting the Bucks, Hornets versus the Rockets, Clippers against the Suns, and the Trailblazers taking on the Warriors. Our sports sticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Back to throw is Rourke being rushed, gets hit, and goes down. The Huskers get him a sack. It's Mekhi Bear with a sack for the Big Red, his first of the year, and the Husker black shirts do rise to the occasion and shut off the Indiana drive. Tight formation, no wideouts, bounced outside, under center. They turn, give it off again to Barney around the left side of the 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Ja'Cory Barney with a little end around for Nebraska, and the Huskers are on the board here in Bloomington.
Free ball back. Here come the Huskers. Middle back. Harper. Kaboom! Whoa! If they're looking for the local, they're missing the express because Andy and Harper are launching tonight. It's 9-6 Big Red. One hand set. Olivia Mauk has to put it over. Now the Buckeyes back set. Line top. Olivia Mauk to dig. Nebraska by 4 with the ball. Outside Harper. No. The dig travels across the net. Rebecca Alec. Kaboom. 20-15 Nebraska.
Now, here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are, back Hour 2, Sports Nightly on a Wednesday night, our Hump Day edition of Sports Nightly. Thanks to Coach Barthel for coming in and spending an hour with us. Jess, I really enjoy my conversations with Coach Barthel. Very down-to-earth guy.
Yeah.
I can see why players like playing for him. He's just a fun guy to be around.
Yeah, just very genuine and kind, and is always, asking how you're doing, and and then a lot of his guys also, kind of echo that and how genuine they are. I mean, how many times have we talked about how much Johnson & Johnson, how much we love those guys, and so yeah, it's a great room, and you can tell certainly when you hear those guys talk about him how much they really, really, really like him. But it's par for the course for the staff, right? I mean, they are all kind of a little bit wired that way, where they are down to earth and genuine, and just I guess genuinely great people that you really enjoy being around, and it's part of that family feel that makes that all those players talk about, just the family atmosphere of this program.
We talked about turnovers for the 6 months leading up to the start of the season, and that has gotten so much better now. I know we're coming off a game where it wasn't, but only 2 fumbles all year long. One of them was in the Indiana game. But we knew that had to get better. It has gotten better. It's probably why we have a 5-2 record right now. So I kind of wanted to point that out tonight, that for everybody was a point of emphasis, and I think message received. I think the guys now value the football way more than maybe we did 12 months ago.
Well, I mean, you go back to that, stretch it a year ago, and how many times were he said, if you just have one less turnover per game, when I chatted with Joel Klatt before the game, that was one of the things that he referenced, how much better the ball security, taking care of the football has been, and that it needed to vastly improve, and it has. And I know last game was certainly not what you want, and it's not what this team comes to expect, but it's been much better than that, and winning the turnover battle week in and week out. And it's Dylan not throwing it away, and it's also the running backs taking better care of it. And so it has been much better this season. It was certainly an emphasis, and I mean, even as bad as the turnover battle was, the turnover to the turnover statistic a year ago, you think about maybe 3 or 4 of those, you take care of the football in those games because they were so close, they go the other way. And so certainly played a factor in the outcome of last season. And it's, why the Huskers have been able to get out to the 5-2 start this year is because they've been taking much better care of the football.
Yep, and I know that sounds weird coming off of a 5-turnover game, but there was 1 fumble, 3, the interceptions reared their head in Saturday's game. But again, you take the 7 games and you go markedly better. Now there are other areas they got to get better. They got to get more consistent in the run game. They all know that. We touched on that with Coach Barthel in the last hour. But again, Saturday's game, we fell behind. So we got off rhythm. We had to get away from the game plan because we're down by a couple of touchdowns. You're going to throw the ball more, so you don't get that running game established. But I think they know it. They've been repping it. They're working it hard this week. Sounds like practice has been good. I'm not surprised by this. I think there's a lot of pride on this football team. They know they've got a huge challenge Saturday, but I think they'll come ready to put up a fight against the Buckeyes.
I really do, too. I mean, you heard Isaac Gifford say it yesterday at his press conference that guys are pretty ticked off.
Yeah.
And
he used a different word.
I did, yeah, different word. But I think there are some guys in that locker room that even though their record throughout their career has not been, what you would hope, they have been in some battles where they have played and fought tooth and nail against teams like Ohio State throughout their career. I mean, they have been right there in games, so they're not going to go in scared at all, and I think they just know and Searles and I talked about this on the podcast this week when he said, I've been a part of 3 butt whoopings a little bit like that in my career where you go back and just watching that film is just brutal. You feel awful when you walk off the field and then you have to go back and watch it, and it just the game time can't come soon enough to get back out there to be able to right that wrong and to put better tape out there. And as we've said all week, this is a huge opportunity for some of these guys that want to go on to the next level. And when you are a scout and you're looking at, hey, can this guy play at the NFL level? What's he going to do when he matches up against NFL type talent? Ohio State has NFL-type talent, so there's a lot on the line, but I certainly think that there's going to be a lot of pride in this team wanting to right this wrong and get back on the right track and just perform better. I mean, they just have said it all week in the conversations that I've had with guys. It just wasn't up to our standard, is what the messaging has been, and they do not like that feeling. And so I'm sure practice has been challenging. They had the couple days where they didn't have classes, and so they got a little extra work in. And then, here we are. It's hump day, so you're getting closer and closer. But I bet they cannot come soon enough. 11 a.m. or 11:10 on Saturday.
Huskers and Buckeyes. Later this hour, we're going to play a little bit of the latest episode of Kicking Back with the Cooks. It's going to be put out in its entirety tomorrow, but we're going to give you a sneak preview coming up here in a little bit with John Cook visiting with his daughter, Husker color analyst Lauren Cook-West. We'll have that for you in a few minutes. And our Big Ten Blitz as we spin around the conference, getting ready for another full weekend of conference football. Some really interesting matchups around the league. I'm interested in that Penn State-Wisconsin game Saturday night from Camp Randall. And I think Illinois will battle Oregon. Don't think they'll beat the Ducks, but I think they'll battle them. But we've not talked really, Jess, the last couple nights because we've been kind of football consumed about what a good weekend John Cook's volleyball team had, that quick road trip to Michigan State and then over to Ohio State. They win both matches. They get sweeps. They're 8-0 in the league. Penn State's 8-0. Wisconsin 7-1. The Badgers are coming up in about 9 days. They're in a good spot. They've got Illinois, Michigan at home this weekend at the Devaney Center. But that team just kind of keeps clicking along. I think the big news last week was that Taylor Landfair drew a couple of starts. John Cook had a press conference a couple of hours ago, and he just said, Taylor has some skill sets that hardly anybody in the country can match, and she's working hard, earning more reps on the court, and I'm happy for Taylor. Looks like she might be kind of finding her footing right now.
Yeah, and I actually talked a lot about Taylor with Jordan Larson on the podcast this week. It wasn't easy for her to come in because she wanted to graduate. Her major wasn't going to transfer, and anyway, so it was better for her academically to go ahead and finish out at Minnesota the spring semester and then come. So that you miss out all in spring, and then just, again, finding her footing. And, she had said, I felt like a freshman again, just figuring out how things work at Nebraska, just settling herself in and finding her role. And so just, took a little bit, but she's finding her footing. And, as Coach Cook has said multiple times, that competition is not, they thrive on that. It is absolutely a battle in practice every single day because there's so much depth in competition. And so each week they're battling it out. Who's going to be the most consistent? Who's going to provide us the most, lift in practice and throughout the entire week, and that's who you're going to get your opportunity that way. So he had said, I think it was after the Ohio State, because Lauren asked him about it, as what's that look like? He goes, we're going to go back and we're going to compete, and we're going to see who earns the right to get the playing time this coming weekend. But it's a good problem to have, especially when the Huskers are playing so many back-to-backs, and not any other program in the Big Ten are playing this many back-to-backs. And they had the travel issue last week where I know it took a while on the bus, and then they sat on the runway for a little bit, and then you had to turn right around and play the afternoon match. And so I think this is going to be a big-time luxury for the Huskers as they move forward. And, they're home this weekend, but then they hit the road again. They're playing a lot of games on the road here in this stretch over the next few weeks, and the long road trips out to the West Coast. So I think having this depth is going to be really, really good for this team here over this stretch of the next few weeks.
Do you think there's any concern that they're just ready to get to December and get to the tournament? And do you find, because this is kind of maybe, the dog days are more of a summer term, but where you're just kind of in the lull and you're like, all right, we're really good. We know we're going to be more than likely a top 4 seed. We're ready to get into the tournament. I kind of wonder if that plays into the mind, and how does John Cook maybe alleviate that and go, okay, we got to still get better and better every day. We just can't fast forward to the NCAA tournament where we want to be in the Final Four in 6-7 weeks.
Well, I think that's it. You just hit the nail on the head, and Coach Cook says it. If you listen, his post-game interviews, almost every single time, he's pointing to something that this team did not do well, that they have to focus on to get better. And so I've asked that question before, in a roundabout way on the podcast about, continuing to challenge this team. And that's what Coach Cook does so well, is continuing to get this team motivated when they are head and shoulders sometimes better than some of the opponents. It's like they're beating themselves. There are certain, every single week they're focusing on things that they have to improve on if they want to go win a national title. So I think they're by no means hey, we're ready to go on our run to the postseason, because I think they realize that for them to actually have a chance of holding up that trophy at the end of things, there's a lot of things that they got to get better at. Even though we're sitting here saying they sweep, they dominate, they can very quickly point to things that throughout the last few matches, each match, this is something we got to get better at. Lauren and JB talked about this the other day, about just allowing teams to go on some runs. And you had actually texted me about that. I think it was maybe in the Ohio State match that, they've got to be able to shut the door and not allow teams to get on runs, because there are teams that are like the Wisconsins and the Penn States. You better not let them go on a run, So I think they certainly realize there are many more things that they have to focus on and get better at. And that's as much as it's maybe a little bit of a challenge to do those back-to-backs, it does allow them some chances to train here throughout the week that they can really focus on and get better. But there's going to be some tough matches ahead, and I think they're by no means looking ahead. I think they're pretty up for the challenge each and every week.
Good. Illinois Friday night, Michigan Saturday. Both are 5-3 in the league, and then next Friday, November 1st, at Wisconsin. That'll be a big one to circle on your calendar. BTN actually has a Big Ten volleyball doubleheader going on tonight. Buckeyes, Purdue Boilermakers playing right now, and then there's a match, I think it might be Minnesota and somebody coming up after that. Folks, Cox Mobile is hosting Huskers Hangout, Omaha's official watch party coming up on Saturday up in Smash Park in La Vista. Kickoff 11 o'clock for the big noon kickoff game. The event is open to the public. All ages are welcome. Husker Hangout presented by Cox Mobile this Saturday at Smash Park in La Vista. To get more information about it, go to huskers.com/hangout. When we come back, we'll play a little snippet of the latest Kicking Back with the Cooks. That's coming up next.
From family road trips in a spacious SUV to heavy-duty hauling in a powerful truck, Woodhouse has the vehicle to fit your lifestyle. Purchasing a vehicle has never been easier thanks to our streamlined buying process. Browse a huge selection of new or pre-owned vehicles from top brands. View transparent pricing so you can find the vehicle that fits in your budget. And complete your purchase online. Shop when you want, where you want. It's the Woodhouse difference. Get started today at woodhouse.com.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Cyber threats are everywhere. When is the last time you stopped to think about how you're protecting your business from potential data breaches, phishing scams, or ransomware? It's time to make cybersecurity a priority for your business. At Hamilton, our unmatched expertise and cutting-edge technology goes beyond basic defense, providing proactive, tailored solutions that keep your data, network, and digital assets protected. Better protection, better cybersecurity with Hamilton. Visit our website at hamiltonisbusiness.com to learn more.
Last season was a banner year for the Huskers, winning 5 Big Ten titles. Nebraska also finished in the top 25 in the Directors' Cup standings. Beardmore Subaru congratulates Husker Athletics and Nebraska student athletes for all their achievements and stands behind you again this season. Go Big Red! Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester, the same trusted SUV it's always been, only more so. Love begins with trust.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store, because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Imagine a world where your office IT runs smoothly, securely, and effortlessly. A day where you aren't worried about the next outage or password compromise. At Hamilton, we take care of everything from monitoring and maintenance to security and support. We partner with your business to design integrated technology solutions that fit your needs now and your goals for the future. With on-site and remote IT support options, we're always just a call or click away. Elevate your IT with Hamilton Managed IT. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Sunday morning. You can smell it. Game day. And the brisket you've been smoking since last night. A day to be with family, aka fellow football fans. Traditions make Sundays easy to enjoy. Beers do too. Bud Light. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Last season was a banner year for the Huskers, winning 5 Big Ten titles. Nebraska also finished in the top 25 in the Directors' Cup standings. Beardmore Subaru congratulates Husker Athletics and Nebraska student athletes for all their achievements and stands behind you again this season. Go Big Red! Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester, the same trusted SUV it's always been, only more so. Love begins with trust.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Well, this month's edition of the Kicking Back with the Cooks podcast is going to be released in its entirety tomorrow, but we thought we'd give you a sneak preview tonight here on Sports Nightly.
Coach Cook, you were in Big Ten season play. We're in the month of October. What are you going to be for Halloween?
I really haven't got there yet or thought about it, but as you know, I hate Halloween, and how about I'll just be a coach. How's that? Or a cowboy?
Wait, why do you hate Halloween?
I don't know. It's because people go crazy and our team gets silly.
Yeah, what are the
Are we
girls
playing?
anything?
We're playing. We play
Wisconsin.
We're at Wisconsin on Halloween, aren't we?
No, Friday.
Friday, okay.
The 1st. What are the girls scheming anything or planning anything?
Not that I know of, no. But
I feel like they always have creative costumes and they show up. Well, it may be tough because you're on the road.
Yeah, it'll be tough because we're on the road. But
I have to tell you, this does not relate to volleyball, but that's why we do this podcast. Jason, my husband, is a hockey fanatic, and he was like, hey, do you want to watch this show with me last night? And I was like, sure, whatever. It's a hockey documentary. Have you heard of it? I think it's called Face Off. It's on Amazon Prime. It follows what?
I've not heard of it, no.
Okay, you have to watch it. I was hooked. I'm like, Jason, we gotta watch another episode because we went through 2. He's like, no, we're done. Like, we're gonna go to bed. We can watch more tomorrow. But and usually I'm the one who wants to go to bed. So it follows certain players in the NHL, and each episode follows different players, and it pretty much takes them through the end of the season and the playoffs. And I looked to Jason last night and I said, my dad needs to watch this because he has gotten so soft. You listen to what these hockey coaches say. You listen to what the players say to each other. I'm like, volleyball has gotten way too soft. Nebraska volleyball as a whole needs to watch this hockey documentary.
Okay.
It is wild.
I'll take a look. I'm just counting the days down until Yellowstone. Tom Chattel did a great article on what his theory is what's going to happen in Yellowstone. I think he's right on.
Okay, talk to us about that, because I was going to bring that up. It's an awesome article. If you haven't read it, who does he write for now?
Tom Chattel writes he's been the kind of the writer, column writer for the Omaha World Herald, but he does several other things now. But he covers all the sports in Nebraska.
This wasn't in the World Herald, was it?
I think it's been in several places.
Okay, so it's an article about you and coaching and cowboying, of course. But tell us the theory that, because he walked into your office and like right away said this theory before he even started the interview, right?
Yeah, so we had an appointment. So he showed up and he just said, we're going to start this off by this. He goes, what do you think is going to happen in Yellowstone? I said, well, I don't know. I haven't thought about it. And he said, I have my theory. I go, so I'm really interested what his theory is. And his theory is that the Duttons are going to lose their ranch. They're going to keep the house. But it's all about progress. You can't stop it. So he said, I'm setting you up for that because I want to know how, progress in sports has changed a ton and it continues to change and how you kind of stayed with it and dealt with it. So that was his line and take on the theme of that article. So that was pretty creative. Nobody's ever done that before.
I think more media people need to, how do I word this? Go, not just talk volleyball. It's like there's so much more to you. And it's not just the cowboy stuff. It's, there's so much more that they could write about or compare or talk about. And yeah, I read the article. It's a great article. If you haven't read it, check it out. But I also can't wait for Yellowstone. But you need to watch this hockey documentary. You should hear these coaches. I don't know what your pregame speeches look like now because I'm no longer in there to listen to them, but hopefully I can say this on the podcast, but they come in, they're like, F this, F that, let's F and go. And then they're out of there. I'm in bed and I'm motivated. I'm like, I'm ready to go out on the ice and play some hockey.
Yeah. Cool. I'll try to watch it.
Yeah, you got to watch it. I also have to tell you, speaking of media, JV and I got in trouble because we always do a post-game interview with you after every match or most matches. There's been a couple where you've had other prior commitments that you have to go to, but we got in trouble because we go off topic with you.
Oh, who got you in trouble?
I'm not going to name names,
okay.
But certain media personnel reached out and we were told that we need to rein it in and only focus on volleyball. And we said the whole point of the post-game show and the whole reason people listen to it is because we talk about things that, it's not always serious. It's not always volleyball. Like, yes, we do talk about the match. Yes, we do talk about volleyball, but we like to go on different tangents and that's how people get to know you.
Yeah, no, I think we have fun in the post-game. So
yeah, well, we got in trouble.
All I know is I get car horns honking out there as they're waiting to go, in the traffic. So that's my goal every post game.
Yeah, everyone in the media is probably pissed that we talk about that. Yeah. You know what else I forgot to bring up on last month's podcast, which we recorded in middle of September and it came out before you started Big Ten play, but I forgot to bring up UCLA, Nebraska. I was playing for UCLA, you were coaching at Nebraska, and we beat you.
Oh, yeah.
And I now have lifetime bragging rights over you. That's probably the only thing I have bragging rights over, but I was going to wear my UCLA shirt. I was going to, talk a mean game, and I forgot to do it. You ended up beating the Bruins, which I'm happy about, but...
Yeah, I remember that match, Lauren. It went 5. We played in Devaney, which I didn't want to play in, but we got a big crowd. And I remember Mary Paul Miller was there on the visit. She didn't say 2 words. And I remember, we're in some locker room over there afterward, and it was a tough loss. But yeah, then I think I had to go to dinner with you and all your Bruin teammates. So that was a lot of fun. But anyway, but this brings up a great point because last night Purdue set a new Big Ten attendance record. They played Indiana in the basketball arena, drew 14,152. So immediately I sent off a text to Troy, our athletic director, and said, okay, game on. We got to break this. So next year we'll definitely be going to PBA so we can get that record too. So we want to hold every record, and so I think our fans are fired up, so we'll have to play a Big Ten match in PBA Arena.
Right there, that's part of this week's Kicking Back with the Cooks podcast. So there you go. Look for a match at PBA next year for the Big Red. Again, that entire podcast will drop tomorrow midday-ish. Look for a lot more good, fun conversation between John and Lauren on Kicking Back with the Cooks. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. We're back with the Blitz next.
Out here, we raise stronger people, stronger crops, and we proudly raise our flag to that. Let the weather, pests, and pressures try to beat us down. We only keep growing up. With the next-gen genetics, the pure acre-for-acre know-how of these soils, and a deep pride of our roots, we are born to raise at Hogemeyer. Learn more at therightseed.com.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Get a 2024 Ford Super Duty for 1.9% with Ford credit financing, or get $2,000 bonus cash only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
If there's one thing Nebraska is known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens.
I'm Jason Pinky, a farmer near Craig, Nebraska. Soybeans are vital for feeding our livestock, and they're also a powerhouse protein source for people worldwide. Our world needs protein, and Nebraska soybeans are making a difference.
From tailgate grills to global plates, farmers deliver affordable, nutritious protein to build muscle and energy for everyone. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Looking for the ultimate sports watching experience? Head to Smash Park in La Vista, home of Husker Hangouts, Omaha's official watch parties. Your go-to spot for epic game day deals, delicious bites, and unbeatable fun. Catch every moment on a massive screen. Challenge friends to pickleball, axe throwing, and other games. Smash Park is where the action happens, whether you're cheering on the Huskers or just enjoying the atmosphere. Smash Park. Visit us today and turn your game day into a game night. Smash Park. Play, drink, eat.
The polar bear. Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hupmaker knows who to call when your house is cold enough for hibernation.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hupmaker here. People know me as the polar bear. Don't be like me in the winter and call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty, best warranty in town.
SOS to the rescue.
402-391-2336.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir. Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Our Akrs Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Welcome back. Wednesday night, this is the time of the week where we take a little spin around the conference. We call it the Big Ten Blitz, presented by Groundworks.
This is the Big Ten Blitz. Indiana.
Here to talk about the 13th ranked Hoosiers, and I think that's not high enough, is Zach Osterman of the Indianapolis Star. They are the story of college football, Zach. Big noon kickoff last week, game day this week. How is Coach Cignetti? Is he embracing this? Is he trying to shield his players from all this publicity? How has his approach been?
Yeah, I don't think, I think so much of what seems like it's worked, and every coach talks about this stuff, right? They talk about focus and attention to detail and, not getting distracted and things like that. Every coach talks about that, and most coaches, ultimately that something winds up punching a hole in the armor. To this point, Indiana has not really shown any kind of sign of flinching, and that's been, there was a lot of media stuff during the bye week a couple weeks ago because they were 6-0 and they were ranked, and obviously, sort of the storylines around Curt Cignetti and the turnaround that he put together, and then even more so this week after the Nebraska win. I think there just is an extent to which Cignetti and his staff are capable of, meeting all the demands that are going to come with having this kind of success, but not getting too distracted by them. Now, listen, the next question is, we're entering territory even Cignetti and his staff have never really navigated in terms of being in the top 15, pushing toward the top 10, maybe being a playoff contender, maybe even if they don't stop winning here soon, being a Big Ten championship contender. That's going to be maybe a different kind of test, and maybe a test in sort of a different way for Cignetti and his group. But to this point, nothing's really kind of broken through that veil, and it really does seem to start with the way that Cignetti sort of carries himself, the way he transmits himself to his players, and the way they pick a lot of that up off him.
Okay, Rourke out this week, might be back in a week. How does it change Indiana, or does it change with Jackson now getting the snaps?
Yeah, I don't think it'll change a ton. Jackson is a slightly more mobile quarterback. I don't know if you're Indiana, if you want to run him too much, because if he gets hurt, then it's true freshman behind him, and then you are really kind of in a place where you start wondering, are you too young at that position and so forth. I think there's probably going to be some ways that Indiana is going to try and make things easier for Jackson, as you would for a quarterback who's a little younger and also hasn't had as much time. I know every player says they prepare like a starter no matter where they are in the depth chart, but a backup quarterback just can't prepare like a starter. You're not going to get as many snaps in practice, as many reps. the stuff that gets added to the game plan, the wrinkles and tweaks to the scheme are going to be geared toward the guy that's behind center, all the time. And that's, until this week, that's not been Taven Jackson. For example, I went back and charted some of his throws from the game Saturday against Nebraska. It was a lot of one-read stuff. It was a lot of sort of, quick read, get the ball out quickly, that kind of thing. Now, some of that's probably, frankly, just because Indiana's trying to get him comfortable in a game that ultimately he's getting prepared for and inserted into in about a 10, 15-minute window. I think what's going to be interesting to see is how much Indiana feels like it can tailor around Jackson going into this weekend, and knowing that they may only need him for the week. Maybe they need him again at Michigan State next week, because he is a talented player. He was a 4-star prospect in high school. He was an Elite 11 participant. He started his career at Tennessee, won a couple state titles up in Center Grove, which is a powerhouse program in Indianapolis. He's had some really good moments in an Indiana uniform, played really well in a loss to Louisville last year, probably, adjusted for the fact that he was going against a second-team defense, probably played a little better than Rourke did in the spring game back in April. Rourke is going to have a level of experience and time on task that Jackson just doesn't. But Indiana staff also has a really good track record, even going back to their time together at James Madison, of being able to fit the scheme and fit the offense around the quarterback's skills, strengths, needs, etc. And if Indiana can run the ball against a Washington team that, frankly, has really struggled to stop the run the last 3 weeks, then they can probably make life even more comfortable for Jackson this weekend.
It is a Belichick defense with the Huskies coming to town. How do you see this one breaking out?
I do kind of center on that. I think I don't have the number right in front of me, but Washington averaged something like 193 yards rushing allowed in the last 3 weeks. The only game they won in that stretch was with Michigan at home, and I think we all recognize that no matter how well Michigan runs the ball, there's some things that are really handicapping Michigan's offense at the moment. I think Washington's allowed 5 of their 7 rushing touchdowns allowed in the last 3 weeks. It's funny because a lot was made of the way Indiana ran the ball in Nebraska. Indiana's run game really had kind of regressed a little bit in Big Ten play. It had not been as sort of steady in terms of its production from the non-conference schedule, which is pretty forgiving to those first 3 Big Ten games, to kind of burst out the way that it did against Nebraska. I think it's a really good sign for Indiana. And I think it is something that, at least if you're looking at these matchups on paper, I think bodes well for Indiana on Saturday, because that does allow you to open some things up for Taven Jackson, allow you to, go a little slower with him in some areas, maybe take a little bit off his plate, take just a little bit of the pressure off if you're constantly ahead of the chains running the football. Indiana's got a deep running back rotation. It goes 3, if not 4 deep with guys they trust. The other side of the ball is going to be interesting. Washington throws it well. They've got, alongside Rourke and Dylan Gabriel, the most experienced quarterback in the Big Ten. They got a couple receivers, including Denzel Boston, that are genuine sort of matchup problems, matchup issues, and Indiana doesn't have the biggest guys back there in the secondary. But I do think at home, a noon kickoff does no favors to Washington having to go out there at 9 a.m. Seattle time and try and play this game. I just feel like if you're Indiana, you like the matchups and your ability to run the football and use the run to set up the pass. Maybe you're not quite as prolific as you would be with Rourke behind center, but I think you're still in pretty good hands. It's hard for me not to pick an Indiana win in this game.
Indiana hosting Washington, 11 o'clock Central on BTN. Zach Osterman of the Indianapolis Star. Zach, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Penn State.
And here to talk about the Nittany Lions, Corey Geiger, who hosts a Sports Central radio show in central Pennsylvania. The Nittany Lions, one of 3 undefeated teams left in the Big Ten Conference, coming off of a bye week. What were some of the to-do lists for James Franklin during the bye week, Corey?
Greg, they were a relatively healthy team, so there was nothing like that. It's weird because they beat USC in a thrilling game on the road. Then they have the bye, and I'm kind of the opinion, the bye might have come at a little bit of a bad time, because you want to keep playing. You want to continue to go out and enjoy success after that. But it was a bye. They work. They usually get a lot of younger players reps and everything during bye week. But hey, it's a good football team. They're relatively healthy, and now they're ready for 2 gigantic games coming up here against Wisconsin and Ohio State.
Yeah, this is the stretch. Started with SC and now Wisconsin and Ohio State. Camp Randall's a tough place to, this is a tough place to go win on a Saturday night. Break this matchup down. How do you see this thing breaking out?
When Alabama went in there and won 42-10 earlier in the year, you're kind of thinking to yourself, well, Wisconsin's not any good. That's going to be kind of an easy win. But I have a lot of respect for Luke Fickell. I think he is an excellent college football coach. They've done real well. Now, it's not like their schedule has been great, but they've won 3 in a row. They've been pounding people late. Their defense has been playing really well. So that's what's going to be interesting to me is can their defense hold Penn State down to a reasonable number and give their offense a chance to win the game. I think Penn State's defense is going to play pretty well, and I don't know if Wisconsin can score enough points to win the game, but I can see this being kind of a lower-scoring game because I think Wisconsin has a lot of confidence, and as you mentioned, going into Camp Randall on a Saturday night is extremely difficult, very raucous and fun. I've always loved going there.
Been a while since we've really seen these two in a major matchup, right? It's been, heck, you got to go back 7-8 years to see a kind of a primetime battle between these two.
Yeah, and, I have a lot of respect for the Wisconsin program. They're a little bit down this year, but you're talking about a traditional power for the last few decades. And so, look, here's the thing, Greg. We still don't know how good Penn State is or not. They beat Illinois. Illinois is a nice team. USC's lost 4 games already and may lose 6 games. So at the end of the day, how good of a win is that going to be? And so, Penn State's the number 3 team in the country. They've got to be tested in a lot of ways. USC tested them throwing the ball and had some success. I think Wisconsin is going to test them with their defense. So that's what the college football grind is. You get tested in a lot of different ways. But you just, if you're a Penn State fan and coach, you just hope they're not looking ahead to next week's game against Ohio State. If you're looking ahead to Ohio State and taking a visit to Camp Randall for granted, that can be a mistake. So they really need to watch out for that.
Absolutely. Primetime battle on NBC 6:30 Central, Penn State at Wisconsin from Camp Randall. Corey Geiger, as always, great stuff. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Greg. Have a good day, pal.
Minnesota.
Here to talk about the Gophers, Andy Greeter, St. Paul Pioneer Press. Minnesota coming off of a bye week and back-to-back wins over the Southern California schools. Andy, from the outside looking in, pretty impressive that PJ's kind of rallied the troops. How have they played during the month of October in your eyes?
Yeah, better. They've cleaned up things offensively and defensively and played more consistently. To sweep both of the California teams after losing to Iowa and Michigan is a nice turnaround, and they can start to look at possibilities of going to a bowl game.
What was on PJ's to-do list during the bye week? Was there anything they wanted to accomplish? They just need to give guys some rest. What were they trying to get done?
Yeah, well, I mean, as every program does, they kind of self-scout what they're good at, what they're bad at, and what they need to improve on. And I think one of the things that they're continually looking at is defensively. Missed tackles has been a problem for them, and that might be an issue here against a Maryland team that likes to throw the ball around to pretty athletic wide receivers.
Yeah, let's talk about Maryland. That's the opponent coming up this week. They pulled one out of the fire last week, beating USC. What stands out as you look at this matchup for Saturday?
Yeah, like I said, the passing game. The Gophers really haven't been tested too much through the air. USC to a certain degree, UCLA, and they kind of weathered things through both of those games. But I think this might be the best that they've faced yet so far. I know that might sound strange, being that it's Maryland, but they've got some really talented athletic wide receivers, and the Gophers secondary, especially at safety, is still kind of untested. So that'll be probably the biggest matchup going into this one.
I know Minnesota hasn't been maybe as consistent as they want to be in the run game. What's been the talk about that? What's PJ said about their rushing attack?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the biggest surprise here this year, is because that's what PJ Fleck has been able to hang his hat on when it comes to his teams year in and year out for 7 years. So the struggles that they've had in the running game has been very surprising and uncharacteristic for them. The offensive line has had a fair amount of issues. They've had some moving pieces up front. They've had a lot of pre-snap and post-snap penalties that have really cost them in setback drives, and they've also kind of shifted things. They've gotten more balanced They have Max Brosmer as the new transfer quarterback, and he's really good when it comes to short, intermediate, quick-hitting, trust the progression type of passing game. And they've been going to Darius Taylor, their running back, that way a lot more. So they've kind of, thrown it to kind of open up the run. And so it's kind of a mix of struggles in the running game and kind of a shifting philosophy in how they want to try to attack teams.
Andy, we're kind of used to most Gopher games coming down to the wire. I don't know that this is any different, right? This matchup looks like it probably will be a 4-quarter game.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's kind of where this team is at. I think the margin of error is very small, and it looks like that this game is going to be that as well. And I think the Gophers might be favored by a field goal or so. I'm used to these close games. It's kind of been that way for everything pretty much besides the Iowa game this year. Has really been late and close, and that makes it thrilling and maybe nerve-wracking for fans and reporters alike.
Minnesota hosting Maryland, 2:30 Central on FS1. Andy Greeter, St. Paul Pioneer Press. Andy, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
All of our contributors appear with us on our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Again, the Blitz brought to you by Groundworks, the official foundation company of the Huskers. We're back to wrap up tonight's show. We'll do that next.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker Football Spring Game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Out here,
Folks, there's a new blood donation competition happening among Big Ten schools and a $1 million prize on the line. Nebraska is currently top of the leaderboard. So if you bleed Husker Red, donate blood and submit for Nebraska at big10.org/Abbott before December the 7th. That'll put a wrap on tonight's show. Our volleyball show tomorrow night with John Cook, Hour 1. We'll have our Big Ten picks coming up in Hour 2 tomorrow night. Thanks to David and Duke for engineering everything for us tonight. Have yourself a great night. We'll do it all again tomorrow. Good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Get a 2024 Ford Super Duty for 1.9% with Ford credit financing, or get $2,000 bonus cash only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Husker fans, visit a participating AGCO dealer now until November 1st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets and pregame hospitality passes to the Nebraska versus Wisconsin football game on November 23rd in Lincoln. See your True Turf and Ag locations in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter for your chance to win this season.
Experience the new, innovative, and above all, exceptional vehicles at Woodhouse Buick. We guarantee that our staff can help you find your next vehicle. Stop in and save with our current offers going on now. Save up to $1,000 off MSRP, plus 0.9% APR for 36 months on the 2024 Buick Envision Sport Touring All-Wheel Drive. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade.